Hey scrapbook friends, it's Nicole. And today I'm going to demonstrate how to make what I'm calling a waterfall page using a Creative Memories multi-pocket page and some Peekaboo Pockets. This is a layout from my family's trip to Hawaii album from 2016 or 17. And I've showed this in a video on my Facebook page long ago, long before I had a YouTube channel. And I've shown that video to people, but it's pretty rough. And I haven't had an opportunity to remake it to show you how to do it. But I absolutely love the way this turned out. I think there's 30 4x6 photos on this single layout. And when you finish with it, the nice thing is it does not take a lot of bulk in your scrapbook. So even though I've got 30 pages on this layout, I think you can see it's not that much thicker. It's a little bit thicker, but it's just not that much thicker than a regular page. And when I close the book, I mean, I can see where it is, but it doesn't create nearly as much bulk as you would think that it does. So I will link to the Hawaii album down in the description in case you haven't seen this. But the main purpose of this video today is to show you how to create your own waterfall page. Okay, this page is going to start with a multi-pocket page. You probably could do this with a single pocket page, but I found that this little seam here makes the process a lot easier. So these are sold in a pack of 12, I think. And you can mix these in with any of our other CM pages. They've got the little staples that line up. And then you need a lot of pictures. So one of the reasons I haven't done a video on this yet for you guys is because I didn't have any pictures that I needed to put so many on a page. But thankfully, my friend Amy was at my National Scrapbook Day crop this past weekend, and she has these gorgeous photos from her recent trip to Iceland of the Northern Lights. And they're just so beautiful. And she was trying to decide which picture she would have to sacrifice and not be able to put in. And I said, oh, let me do a waterfall page with them, and then I can make a video, and then we'll all be happy because I can show you a technique I wanted to show you, and she'll have her pictures saved and be able to keep all of them and look at all of them. You're also going to need somewhere between 2 and 3 packs of the 4x6 Peekaboo Pockets. Depends on how many pictures you have. You could do this with just, I mean, as few as 12, I guess. But this is really ideal when you have a lot of pictures to put on and you want to do multiples. And then it really helps to have the Creative Memories 13 by 13 inch mat, because we're going to use that to help us position where these are going to go, and maybe the zero centering ruler or a ruler. And I hate to tell you this, but you may have to do some math. So you might need a little bit of scratch paper and a pencil, unless you're better at doing math in your head. So for this one, I happen to have 22 horizontal pictures. And so I'm going to pull out 3 of them just kind of right off the bat, because I'm going to pull out 4 of them. One of them is going to go here on the bottom, and then 3 are going to go on the back. If you don't have that many, you could easily leave one of these for journaling. But just if you have an even number of photos, pull out 4. And if you have an odd number, pull out 3 and leave a box for journaling. So I'm just going to pull out these 3, and we'll put this one here at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove these white cards that came in with the multi-pocket page, but you are going to want some kind of backing on the upper photos, just to keep it from to keep you from being able to see through when you lift those up. So because this is the Northern Lights, she is happily using the Polar Lights collection for this album. And so I'm going to use the dark sea green cardstock because I feel like that is it's a nice complementary color. So I'm not going to put it in the bottom one. Let's see, I've got it upside down. I'm going to put it in the middle and the top. And I always like to work with my with the opening to the back. That's a snug fit. These are just 4x6 pieces of cardstock that I've cut. And I'm just going to put it in these top, what are going to be the top pieces because the bottom ones we're going to cover up with a photo. And then I'm going to start by putting, actually I'll put 2 photos because I'll have one in the back. The 2 photos in here. And when you have 2 photos in together, it does get pretty snug. You could stick these together if you wanted to, but the friction of the page does a pretty good job of keeping them together. Okay, so now I've got my first picture down, and then I'm going to start stacking my other waterfall pieces. So when you do that, you want to take 2 of your horizontal photos, and one of them is going to need to be upside down so that when you put them in the peekaboo pocket and you flip it like this, they'll both be right side up. Okay, does that make sense? And then you're going to take your pocket. So if you haven't used the peekaboo pockets before, the way they work is, of course, one side has a pocket and then the adhesive is on the strip on the other side. So when I first used these for the first time, I thought that you stuck them down, you know, with the pocket on the front and the strips, you know, sticking down. And then you had to leave a space. And I kind of didn't like that, but you know, it was fine. But then I watched a training video from Creative Memories and discovered that their thought is that you've creased this and fold it over so that the sticky side is going to be covered by the photos once you put them down. All right, so that's what you want to do. If you do it the other way, it's not a problem. They still work fine, but I love being able to hide the opening behind this crease. I feel like it just kind of keeps my photos more secure. So take your photos. You're going to want the one that is right side up facing you, and then the opening is to the back so that when you put this in, you have your photo the way it's going to look, and then this is going to fold over. Okay, I'm going to zoom down in so that you can see exactly what I'm going to be talking about right here. We want to line up the edges of our photos kind of with this edge of the seam. But what I found was easiest for me was to use this 13 by 13 mat. And let's move these peekaboo pockets. And when you put this on the, and I know I have another cutting mat on here, but I love the measurements on this. When I put this up against it, it kind of catches the edge of this jeeping edge. Okay, so this kind of slides down, and then I can just know that it's straight, and I can line this up with the bottom so that as I get going up here, this will help me to measure and to put things where I want them. So I'm going to take my first peekaboo pocket. I put the pictures in. I'm going to peel off this adhesive strip. All right. So it's super thin, can be hard to find. I promise it's there. So I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to fold this over, and I'm going to line up this is the first one. So I'm just going to line up the pictures in this peekaboo pocket with the pictures that are in the pocket page. I want it to be straight along the bottom, straight along the edge. So basically what we have here is this little, where it's sealed together, this little polka dotty section kind of is just outside of the line, all right? And it's so much easier to do this if you got your pictures in. But you see right here, that's where your little strap is, or your little strip, and it's pretty invisible. I mean, you can see it on this first one, but on all the rest, it's not going to cover up any pictures. So we're going to put that, that's our first picture down. Now you got to do a little bit of math. So we have 4 inches of space left. Let's see, we'll zoom out a little bit. There we go. We have 8 inches of space left, 2 4-inch sections. And happily enough, I have 16 pictures left. So that makes the math easy. But, you figure out how many pictures you have, and then you have 8 inches of space. So if you had to do some math, you're going to divide this in 2. So I'm going to have 8 pockets, and then not plus, but and 8 inches. So that's super easy. 8 pockets and 8 inches. If you had 7 and 8 inches, you'd have to, use your calculator. I don't even know how you would do that. Just take 2 more pictures or something to figure out what the spacing would be. And we may have to do that when we get to this side. I haven't actually thought that far ahead with that math. But this is going to be easy because we're just going to put these pockets 1 inch apart. And this is where, again, that mat is going to come in super handy because it has the measurement lines already on it. So once again, I'm going to take my 2 pictures, put them in with the strip to the front, crease that down. And then because I want these to be an inch apart, I'm going to use the 1 inch line right here on my mat, but I'm also going to line this up here. And it's as we say here in Rocket City, USA, it is scrapbooking, not rocket science. So it's okay if if your measurements aren't exact. We don't want that. Actually, it might have been better for me to do it this way, I guess. All right, let me try again. You do have a little bit of grace with this. Once it's been on a while, it does get more sticky, but it's quite forgiving when you're just getting started. All right, so there's number 1. I'm going to save this one for the top. And I did go ahead and pre-package some of these already for you so that I could go a little faster. You're welcome. Because this part's just a little bit tedious, just the positioning. And you can see this, this particular Peekaboo pocket, the adhesive was a little bit wonky. It's still sticky, but it looks like it just kind of got, I don't know, got a little distorted in the packaging. But, if you get some like this and they bother you, I think that was something that would probably be covered by the warranty. You could ask your advisor, or if you are an advisor, you could contact Creative Memories and they would, I'm sure, make it good. But they work fine, so it's all good. So you can see I'm using the lines here on my mat to kind of line up at the 1 inch mark, but I'm also trying to line this up here along the side so that my, all the pockets are together. But that means I got to bring it back to that 1 inch. Like I say, it's not rocket science, just scrapbooking. It's okay if they're not perfect. Nobody will ever notice. Well, except you, but you won't tell anybody, right? So, well, you probably will. If you're like me, you'll tell all your scrapbook friends, yeah, that one's not straight. And they'll say, oh, I didn't even notice, which is just how we are, because we don't notice and you'll forget eventually. But I do like to have the mat to help me kind of keep myself on the straight and narrow as much as I can at the beginning. Did I do my math wrong? I think I might have done my math wrong. Oh no, I got 2 more. Okay, whew. Math is not my thing, you guys. I was an art major. These little things, when you peel them off, are so sticky. I keep trying to find something else that they will kind of static cling to as I'm going along. All right, so there's here, right there at that mark. I'm lining that up. I want this one to be the top because I just think that is so cool. And again, one right side up, one upside down. Peel off that little staticky strip, get it to cling to something else on the table. So you could probably do this with a regular pocket page. If you did, I would probably put some kind of a, like make a cardstock with lines on it to use to line it up against, just to help keep you straight, because I have had the problem of it not being as straight as I would like, you know, after I've gotten it down. So I'm going to put this really cool one. I don't know which way is up and which way is down though. So the nice thing with this is these are pockets, so she can always go back in and move them around so that her favorites are on the top. Okay. Oops. Fold that guy over. And this one, I'm just going to go right up against the top edge. I don't want it to poke off the top, but it can go right up there along that top edge. Okay, and so then we are done. There's our whole first set of peekaboos. And you can see this is why I put the colored cardstock. And now looking at these, I almost think maybe I want to go back and do just regular blue instead of the dark sea green. I might change that out. But if you don't have that, if you don't put the cardstock in, then when the person is flipping through, they can see behind whatever it is. So I liked having some kind of color of cardstock in there. But now that I'm looking at it, this matched the polar lights, but it doesn't really match these pictures quite as well. Okay, so there's the horizontal side, and you can see that it's not that thick. I mean, it is thick. It's probably maybe 3/8 of an inch. I don't think it's 1/4 of an inch. And if you saw from my other book that I showed you, it doesn't take up that much space in the book. But I'm going to go ahead and do the verticals. And so this time you'll have to help me, help with the math a little bit. Oh, what happened to my 3 pictures that I kept out? Did I just put those in a pocket? I bet I did, you guys. I thought I kept 3 pockets out. Oh, well, she's going to have to journal or something in those others. Okay, this time I'm going to take out, let's see, we'll put one. That's really cool. We'll put one in the bottom here. And then I'm going to save 2 for the back. Oh, I put 1 in here, so I'm only missing 2. I did 1 too many. Okay, I might even put the other mat in here just to get that same color and give it a little bit of reinforcement. So I've got my 3 pictures. Maybe next time put your others in first. Let's see what 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Yeah, well, no, this was 16. I should have been all right. Oh, well. Math, not my strong suit. So this time I think I like that one at the very top. So I'm not going to necessarily do it exactly, but let's see if we do this at 1 inch. You guys are now watching me do the process. I got some feedback last time that you guys don't mind watching my process. So we'll try these at 1 inch and see if we have the right number. And I've not ever done it where I did the vertical and the horizontal together. This one we might have more. Okay, so this is 1 inch, but I can see that I'm running out of room. She has more of the horizontal, of the verticals. Okay, so that is spaced at 1 inch, but I've reached the top and I still have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pictures left. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do these at the 1/2 inch. Let's see how that works. If I put one in here, 1/2 inch. Inch, that's going to be too close together. Okay, remember process we talked about? We're going to have to do some math. I don't like doing math. Oh, look, it's going to work out perfectly. This is going to go right behind here. So we're going to do this one at the 1/2 inch mark. Oh, that was just magical. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 plus the 4. So this was 20, 26 vertical gave me enough to do it at the 1/2 inch mark. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same thing that we just did, but actually the 1/2 inch is a little bit easier because we can just use the, we're going to use the verticals. We can just use the strip on here. I think it's about a 1/2 inch. Let me double check if that's going to mess up my math. Ugh, those little strips are like Easter grass. Okay, they're actually 5/8 of an inch. So, this might be tricky. We might not be able to get all of them in, but we're going to try. That's going to be my last one, that picture. Oh, no, that one. Oh, I love that one. Okay. So the closest you can do them together is about a 1/2 inch. Works the same with the vertical photos as the horizontal. Except for this one, it's going to be easier because we're just going to use the little adhesive strip to position how far apart they're going to be. So I'm going to peel this off, fold this over. And again, the first one I'm going to line up with kind of itself. There's already a picture under here. I'm lining those up, making sure that it's straight here on the bottom. Let's see. Isn't quite in there. Okay. Line it up here. Straight on the bottom. It wiggled a little bit. Some of this depends on kind of how much of a perfectionist you are. Of course, because I'm doing this for somebody else, I feel like I have to be especially careful. Look at that one. That one's cool. Would love to see the northern lights. I live in Alabama. We don't get them. I know some of you up farther north get them. I've heard that this year that they've been coming way farther down than normal. Okay, so now I'm going to take this strip. You can't even see. This little edge. I'm going to just use it to line it up that way. And as long as I line it up straight along the top of the previous pocket, it should stay straight. Okay, it looks like it's a little bit off to the edge. So, okay, first one, then the next one. Again, remember, one of them is going to be upside down, the one on the pocket side, and then the one on the front side will be right side up. Okay. I hope that this will all fit on one page. Otherwise, she may actually have to weed out a couple photos or add another page. I would not do more than one of these waterfall pages in the same album. I don't think. I guess you maybe could, but then it would really limit you on how many other pages you could fit in, because these do take up probably as much room in your album as 2 or 3 other layouts would take. I guess it depends on how much stuff you put on your pages. But see how this has that color behind it? I think that just makes it look a lot nicer. All right, are we going to be able to, I'm going to take my last one, this one. I'm going to put this one on first. This is an experiment. I haven't practiced this. I try to know what I'm doing before I hit record, but I think just so that I make sure that I don't run out of space here for this one, I'm going to put it on first. And I'm going to put it up here at the top. Okay, so that way I know I still have like several that I need to fit in here. And I don't know if we're going to get them all, guys. We'll see. We'll see. We could put one on the back if we have to. Okay. Sorry, on the horizontal ones, oh, look what I just found. I had pre-positioned. I do have enough pictures. There you go. My math wasn't wrong after all. Okay. These are a little bit easier to adhere and keep this adhesive from going wonky, just because it's a smaller piece. But just a little bit. They're still, it still does take a little finesse. Oh, that one's pretty too. Oh no, that one's going to go in the front. So you can see that it's not, I mean, you don't get to see, like, right, just looking at the page, you won't get a view of all of them. You will have to take the time to flip through, but it's super fast to flip through. And I think it does take up a lot less space than if you were to have page after page after page of just these same pictures. Okay. All right, I'm just going to measure just for my own peace of mind. I've got, these are like 3/8 of an inch wide. That I can't do that math. So if they were 1/2 inch, I could fit a few more. I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be okay. We might have to overlap one of them. I really want to get all of these in here. That one's really pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? Who would have thought that I'd ever get to scrapbook pictures of the Northern Lights? And I didn't have to go to Iceland and sleep in a yurt. Although she did have a fabulous trip, and it was so fun to see her pictures. I think you can see the Northern Lights from Canada, can't you? Maybe I need to come up and visit some of you, of my Canadian friends. So I can see the Northern Lights, but sleep in a hotel. Although I'm sure Iceland has hotels too. Sorry, I think I'm rambling while I'm putting this together. Okay. All right, what do you think? Are we going to make it? I got 2 more. So I've got 2 more, and they're not quite going to fit in between here. I'm going to have to overlap, but I think it's going to be okay. And really, truly, as videos for me go, we're only at, what, about 30 minutes? It's not my longest video ever. So here we go, lining up this one. And you can see that right here, I'm not going to have exactly the full space to fit this in. It's going to overlap a little bit, but I think that will not matter at all. And that's another really cool picture. So this one has a little bit of a, I don't know what is causing this, where the adhesive's a little bit wonky. I don't want to use that one if I can avoid it. Let's see if I can find one that's prettier. A lot of times when I do these, I like to put these, I use regular pages, and I like to put these on my regular page, and then I kind of, any wallpaper or whatever I'm going to do, I put over it so that it, you know, it flaps down, and then I can slide my page protector on. So I'll save one of those that's got a little wonky edge for that. Okay. All right, here's my last one. And it's just going to line up again on this one, but the other one's up already on top of it. But now I'm seeing that I'm not quite lined up as well as I would have liked to be. All right, so there we go. There's our completed double waterfall page. Let's zoom back out a smidge. Double waterfall page, all these little obnoxious strips on my table. And so you could leave it like this. So if all you care about is getting the waterfall page done, that's totally fine. One thing though for me about these multi-pocket pages that I don't love is this little gap on the outside edge, the inside edge and the outside edge. It just kind of annoys me. I can see here that I didn't quite get these exactly lined up, and after I stop the video, I'm going to move those, just nudge them around to get it straight. But before I do that, I do want to cut some strips to fit in here. Now this is not cut. It is sealed. It is sealed closed at the top and bottom. I have requested that they give them to us with it cut across the top, but I'm sure that there's some manufacturing reason. That would be a giant pain to have to skip that part and keep going. So I just take my trusty little X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to cut through right along that seam. And I'm cutting through both of them because it doesn't really matter. This is not structural for your page. And I'm leaving the, leaving the little sealed portion intact, but I've just cut through on both sides. Okay. And then this is about 3/4 of an inch. Let's measure it from the back. It's about 3/4 of an inch is too wide. It's about, let's see if I go to the 0. 5/8 maybe, 5/8 of an inch. Hard to see. And then this one's about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to start with a 5/8 inch strip. I hate to do that to you guys. I know none of us like those little mathy measurements. 5/8 would be 4/8 is 1/2, so 5/8 is between 1/2 and 3/4. There's that 5/8. There's the 1/2 is the edge of the grid closest to your mat, and then the next one is 3/4. So I'm going to go to this the longer line in between the 1/4 and the 1/2 and the 3/4. I cut one of those, and then the next one I'm going to cut at, I think I'm going to cut it at 3/8, which is this line that fits around. So the edge of the gray mat is 1/4. This is 1/2. I'm going to kind of go right there. Well, I think that 1 cm line, 1 centimeter line, we'll try that one. This one's a little trial and error. I don't exactly know what the measurements are, but I've cut my 2 little strips, and now we're going to cross our fingers. Let's see, is that going to fit? I don't know if it is actually. Okay, that looks a little bit too wide. What did I say that was? 5/8. I'm going to cut it at I don't know what that number is. That's less than 5/8. It's that 1/16. However many 1/16 that is. Be a little bit narrower. I'll figure out the math and let you guys know for sure, but that one looks like it's going to fit. And it's just a little bit of a pain to find the opening. Hopefully I cut it down far enough. All right, hopefully that one will fit. Hopefully it comes through on this side and doesn't just go out the other end. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I wish that the would have fit. I think it would have. I mean, it should have fit. I don't understand why this didn't fit. Yeah, it should have fit. All right, we're going to try that again. Pull this one out. So that first one that was 5/8, I'm going to put back in because this had a lot of extra space. And this might have been faster to do before I put the waterfall, the peekaboos on, because the poor little page. All right, and if you're watching this going, Nicole, you are nuts. You don't have to do this part. This is optional. This is for those of us that are slightly nuts. Okay, I didn't cut my opening quite big enough, I think. All right, so that was the 5/8 side right there. And then this is the one that I did a 1/2 inch. This one's too small too, I think. Let's see. I'm gonna do, I want to do 5/8 again. Oh well. Oh, what's this one? This is the 1/2 inch. This is the 1/2 inch. That was the wrong one, I think, that I did. I don't know. Just play around with it. Don't be afraid to trim your piece a little smaller till you find the one that works for you. And it's super fiddly. If you don't have fingernails, you could use your multi-purpose tool or that X-Acto knife that we use to open it up, just to find the opening between the two. And you could cut this, cut this little strip off if you didn't want to keep it, but I think it looks a little bit nicer to keep it on. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I've put this little, just a little accent strip. I mean, you maybe could put a sticker or something on it, but you don't have to. But I just think that looks a little bit nicer. But here you go. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29, 31, 33, 35, 37, 38 photos on a single page. 38 photos. I got to write that down. 38. All right, 38 photos on a single page. And then on the back, we do have these 3 and then these 2 that I thought that I had miscounted on, but I didn't. So I'll put these in too. But of course, if you wanted to do some, like I said, some journaling or a title or something on this, you could. All right. So here we go. I hope this will help some of you if you ever find yourself in a situation where you have 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43 photos that you would like to fit. Actually, I think we could have done more if we would have put the horizontal ones a 1/2 inch apart or 3/8 or whatever, well, 5/8 apart like we did with the verticals. These are spaced farther. So you could fit more. You could fit 40, 44. Who knows how many photos you could fit on here. So I hope you will give this a try. I hope that this will inspire you in ways to use the Peekaboo Pockets. Don't do this on every page. And I truthfully don't know how the staples will hold up. I suppose there's a chance if you've got like little kids that are looking at your books, this might be a little bit heavy for them, but I think it's okay. I think compared to like a layout with cardstock and mats and stickers, it's not that much heavier. And it really, it's a great way to be able to include a whole bunch of pictures without having to decide which one you don't like enough to want to take it off. So if you ever do this, I would love to see the results of what you do. Feel free to contact me through YouTube or Facebook or through my website at NicoleScrapbooks.com. Thanks very much for watching and happy scrapbooking.